Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chuck from HR. Just want to spend a few minutes talking to those of you who hold a teaching certificate, whether it be a classroom teacher, an administrator, any one of you who hold a South Carolina teaching license. As we head into second semester, we get into the busy season in regard to submitting documents for renewal, endorsements, um, taking a good look at your teaching certificate. Now, this is for anyone who holds a license, but especially those whose certificates expire in June. Now is the time to take a look at that. And there's a couple of websites I'm going to go through really quickly with you. Um, because the process is a little different than it used to look. I remember a few years ago, you'll all remember we used to submit those change action forms to the State Department anytime there was an action that needed to be taken on our certificate, anytime we needed to change something or renew, add a document, upload a document to the State Department, it would have to be accompanied by that change action form. That is no longer the case. So I'm going to show you a couple of websites. I'm going to take you through the process let's do endorsements first. So it's important to remember your certificate is renewed through the school district. So Darlington County School District, our office will renew your teaching certificate. That is not done between you and the State Department. It's done through you and your district through this HR office. So we'll get to that in a second. But if you're going to add an endorsement, we cannot add an endorsement to your teaching certificate. We cannot make any changes to your certificate other than your years of experience are automatically changed and your in, renewal credits, renewing your certificate. Other than that, you're going to have to do that directly through communicating with the State Department yourself, which is what I'm going to show you here. And that's mostly done through an endorsement. It's usually done when you are adding an endorsement. It could be a number of things, but most commonly, since we've all had to do Read to Succeed, adding that Read to Succeed endorsement is not something that the district can do for you. You have to do that yourself by communicating with the State Department. And we do all that through the South Carolina Educator Portal. And that's where what you see here. You start at ed.sc.gov. You start at the State Department website. And if I go to educators and I go down to my SC Educator Portal, you can also get there just by doing a search for SC Educator Portal. Well, that will take you here, and this landing page will explain all the things you can use the portal for. Everything from applying for initial certification all the way down to reviewing the information on your certificate. So we'll take a look at it really quickly. I'm going to go into the portal. I'm going to go in as me, and it's probably going to ask me for a code. It does this every time. Let me stop here and say you should use a personal email address. For those of you who have never used the portal before, you're going to have to create an account, a new account for the SC Educator Portal, and you want to use a personal email address. Uh, Not that anyone ever would, but if you ever leave the district, you will no longer have access to your district email and you would lose access to the portal and you'd have to create a new account. Or if our district were to ever change email platforms and you lost that address, you'd lose access. So use a personal email here. You'll create a password and you'll log in. It's asking me for a code. I'll go to my email, get that code, and I use that to get in. Now it takes me to, I'm in the portal now. Here are my choices along the left side. I'm not going to click on profile, but your personal information will come up. Your name, address, your certificate number, your telephone number. I think that's also where you can change your password, things like that on your profile. It lands you on the requests page, which I'll come back to in a second. Send documents, just underneath that is just what it says. You can drop documents here and submit it to the State Department. Underneath that is My Locker, and that is where you can go in at any time and look at all the components of your teaching certificate, from your certificate details, any exam you've ever taken and pass or fail, documents on file with the State Department, correspondence, anytime they've sent you a letter, anytime you've sent them a letter. There's a record of it here. And I want to point out this goes back even before this portal was created. This SC Educator has only been around since May of 2022, but the information in here predates it. It goes all the way back to the life of your certificate. Your renewal credits will be there if you have any with the State Department. But again, renewal takes place in the district. So you probably will not see any renewal credits on file with the State Department. You will not unless you submit them yourself. You can click in the very bottom to see the experience that the State Department has on file for you and where those years of experience took place, which districts you were in. But let me go back to the landing page. It starts you off at the requests page. At the top is where you can submit a new request, and down at the bottom are the status of current requests. The one that says general inquiry, general request inquiry, that's always there. It's always an option for you. And mine here says 1 year extension. It's asking me if it's there because I'm in my final year of my certificate. My certificate actually expires in June. So it's saying, hey, do you want to add a 1 year extension? Now's the time. Either let's get those credits to your district and get renewed, or you need to go ahead and submit a request for a 1 year extension. If you got any questions about that process, just reach out to our office. We'll be glad to help you. But you can see I have a current request in progress. So I completed my Read to Succeed this past year. So I did that request. I created a new request up here, a new request for that endorsement. And let me check the status of it. It was a 3-step process, and it's still in review. So this is how I requested that endorsement. I click Start, and it's not going to let me go all the way through because it's pending, because I have that request pending already. But you can apply for initial certification right there, or you can request, and this is what takes the place of that old change action form that I mentioned, where we used to have to do it on paper, send it to the State Department either through the mail or through email. This is where you start a new request. It's going to ask you what kind, and there are lots. Just about anything you can do will be listed here. Most commonly, it's going to be add an endorsement, add an extension. But there are all these other areas you can do. I would encourage you to add an area. You can add areas to your certification now simply by passing a praxis in most cases. So if you're middle level math, you want to teach high school math, you just take the corresponding praxis test, submit your document, and then put in the request to add the area. It's that simple. If I were going to add the endorsement, I don't think it's going to let me go beyond this point because I've already put that request in there. So I'm going to say never mind. But again, this is the SC Educator Portal. It looks like this. You'll need to create an account if you have not done so before. And that is your communication directly with the State Department, specifically for requesting an extension. Your district cannot do that for you. Specifically for adding an endorsement, your district cannot do that for you. For checking on the status of your certificate, for seeing when it expires, how many years of experience you have, how many years before it expires, what's the status of your extension. You name it, you can take care of it through this portal, except for renewal. Darlington County School District takes care of certificate renewal on behalf of our teachers. So you'll communicate all of your renewal credits through our office. And I'm going to show you that process now. That's done online also. We've gotten away from the days where you have to compile all your paper certificates, fill out the change action form, and send it to our office. We've gotten away from that. And now we do it all online. So I'll take you through that process real quick also. So here we are on the district website. I'm going to go to For Staff, and I'll slide over to the employee portal. It's the same way you get to ESS. Same way you go in and check your pay stubs and whatnot, but we're going to go to the first choice in this case, District Professional Development and Certificate Renewal Portal. This is going to be like gold to you, especially those who are expiring in June. It'll look like this. Now you will not have all these options available to you. I'm going to go in, if you'll forgive me, and I'm now impersonating uh, Miss Vicky, with permission, Vicky Standish. And so this is what you'll see when you log in. Home, badges, courses, external credit. What you're doing is building a transcript of renewal credits. So this portal, professional learning is what it's called, if I didn't already tell you. This is where you upload and bank your renewal credits. You got to get 120. There's a few other requirements in there, but that's the gold standard is getting that 120, getting those 120 credits. You must have Read to Succeed endorsement. You must have the Jason Flatt endorsement for middle and high school. So I'm logged in now. Let's look at courses. Click on that, and this is where you can view your transcript. So I'm going to, over the 5-year period of your certificate's validity, you're going to build your transcript. And if I go in here and look at Ms. Vicky's transcript, if you look in the bottom left here with me, she has 20 credits. I hope she doesn't renew in June because she only has 20 credits. If you look, the only credit she got was for underwater basket weaving this past year, and it was for 20 credits. So what you want to see is 120. So what I'm going to show you now is how to upload your renewal credits into this portal in order to build your transcript on your way to getting 120 credits, okay? So let's say she had just taken Read to Succeed. I'm going to go to External Credit. I'm going to click on New Request on the right side here, New Request. If you have any that you've already put in for, they'd be listed right here. But I'm going to do New Request. And you have two options. The one for pre-approval is rare. More than likely, you'll always do credit approval. Credit approval is you've taken a class, you've gotten a certificate. The certificate tells you how many hours you've earned on it. That's 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to have. The pre-approval is if you plan on doing a project and you want to know if it will count for credit. You're a principal and you want to teach a class this spring you want to do a book study with your faculty, and you would like for it to count once you do it. You get pre-approval for those things. Credit approval is for things you've already done. And most of the time, if it's done by the district or by the State Department or an institution, it will already be pre-approved. You'll know. Any questions there, though, you let us know. But let's say I'm going to do for credit approval, and you complete this one page. It's one page to submit your credits. So we'll do the course title. We'll say she did Read to Succeed, content, area, reading and writing. Course number, if there is one. That's usually done by the South Carolina Department of Ed. You put the date that it started, and this needs to match your certificate if possible. You put the date that it ended. And of course, these dates must be within the window of your certificate, so it can't be, the start date cannot be before your current certificate was issued, and it, of course, can't be too late either. That Read to Succeed course was 60 credits, so she's putting in, I'm going to put in now requesting 60 recertification credits. Description, you must do a description of the course. A lot of times when you sign up for a course, it'll offer you a course description or it's on the syllabus. If you take Read to Succeed, there'll be a description of the course. So you can copy and paste it in here or just give us a description of the course, but this is mandatory. You cannot omit the description. Put in sample there. Now this is important, the credit category. Most of the time they are professional development activity. You could get it for graduate credit, instruction, mentoring. A lot of our teachers get credit for mentoring. The question we get most often is the difference between professional training and professional development. Professional training is you are being trained to use something, a device, software. If you spent a day in Promethean training, how to use a Promethean board, So you are being trained on how to use that piece of equipment. That was training. If you went to CPR training and got trained how to conduct CPR, that was training. Professional development are other activities that build your capacity as an educator, not necessarily being trained on something new. But you choose the category, in this case, professional development for Read to Succeed. The name of the instructor is mandatory. A course URL, if there is one, and then this is the most important part, the certificate. You cannot get credit for any course without a proper certificate. It has to have your name, the name of the course, how many credit hours are awarded by that course, and the date. That has to be included uh, in the certificate, in the request. The certificate has to be included. I don't think I'm going to have a file to attach. I'll see. Let's see here. Nope. So this, we're going to stop here. And then you submit it for approval. Once you're done, you submit it for approval. When you submit a credit, when you submit the course for approval, it will come to our office for approval. Someone in our office will review everything that you just submitted. We will approve it or deny based on the criteria. And then you'll be able to go back to your transcript courses. Remember, my transcript. And in this case, Ms. Standish would see 60 more credits. So she'd have a total of 80 recertification credits. And both of those things would be listed here. So she'd have underwater basket weaving, and then she'd have that Read to Succeed that she just submitted. We try to stay ahead of this now. We try not to let a week go by without approving everything in the bank. So anyone who submits, if it's been more than a week since you've heard back about the approval, you let us know. But we are all caught up now, and we should be okay staying on track. So that is how you submit your documents for recertification. When January comes, as we get into closer to the spring, when it's time to renew, if you're up for renewal, we go into this portal, we pull your transcript. If it's got 120 credits on it and you have the proper endorsement, we automatically renew your certificate. We know who expires this year. We know what the requirements are depending on your assignment, and we renew for you. So that'll happen automatically. You will get some reminders from us if you do not have credits in the portal, but that's how you do it, guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at any time. We're here and available to you at any time. But just remember the difference between these two. State Department portal is your communication with the State Department on anything except renewal credits. They don't want to, every educator, there's thousands of us in the state, and each of us has to have 120 credits. So they run that through the districts. But everything else you run, but that's between you and the State Department. Your communication with them takes place in the SC Educator Portal. Renewal takes place here in professional learning. Good luck with it. Any questions at all, we're right here available to you. Best of luck, and we will talk to you soon.